Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young.
But we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club.
Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
What's up? Not my microphone.
We're just doing a throwback to remind you all how appreciative you should be of how we've up-leveled our microphone and audio game.
I don't think we ever did the iPhone microphone, but we were never that basic, but hopefully it's okay. So sorry, I am always annoyed when audio isn't up to snuff, but it is what it is.
You know what? This is just like how real our show is that we're like, you know what? Giving the hotties what they want is more important than having our best microphone.
This is the realness. And it makes my hair look slightly better, even though it needs to be both cut and colored. And I'm taking care of the cut immediately following this. So
I know you were talking about in Marco Polo how your goal is to like avoid it turning into like Lego hair, where it starts to get so blocky or like grown in that it like sits on your head instead of it looking like you
and
did
then
something.
Like this happens, like the separation.
Oh yeah.
Where
a cute little clip-on bang.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know why it happens when it grows out like that, but that's so.
But my hair does, I mean, obviously different cut, but like I get that Lego head like clip-on hair effect when it starts, like all the edges have grown over, so it looks like you could be hiding like a wig hairline kind of effect.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I think it bugs me when mine does that, is I'm like, oh, it's just so much. Like,
well, my hair just
so
gets
much of it.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's like not thick per se, but I just have a lot of it, and it has no movement or like there's just. It doesn't curl anymore. It just is like, we're done. So
it's like, we've done so much for you. You have to figure it out for the rest of
you
them.
got to help us help you. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then here, this is my fresh cut. I just got cut the other day. All my silvers are out.
Cecily's been really into her mascara. Like, I don't really let her, she doesn't wear makeup, but only mascara.
Okay.
And so she has a mascara combo. It's 3 mascaras.
Okay. She needs that many.
It's like a whole 30-minute situation. And well, she told me she was out. She just uses like a cheap like drugstore one, and they had 3 different kinds. So I'm like, they were like $8 for all 3. So I'm like, I'll just get them. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I can build. So she does like the thickening, then the curling, and then the waterproof. So she's been wanting to do mine. So I let her do them this morning. But I told her oily what to, but
I can't tell as much on this camera. Like, I'd have to probably like pinch in on the view and be like, "Ooh, look at them luscious lashes."
I think it's just too thick for me, but it's pretty funny. Like these tweeny boppers of this generation, there's just going to be no awkward phase, like, or at least my
They just went right to like hot people behavior. Like they're all looks maxing basically.
And like do the research. Like she's like researching.
I mean, honestly,
and like we had no access to that.
The level of research that you could do now, like I'm out here, like I bought a fuchsia plant and I'm like, oh, I bet TikTok can tell me how I'm supposed to prune this properly to get the most blooms. Yes, it does. Like, and then same thing with, I was just thinking about how there was this, this was high school. It's related to the eyelashes of it all. There was a song team or dance, like every high school calls it something different, but it's like dance kind of, but like.
Ours was called song. Yeah, what was it?
Ours was the song team, but they were definitely doing a lot of like, they were doing like,
sexy
it's getting
moves.
hot in here. Like,
yeah. There's like some booty bumping going on.
Definitely should not have, like, it felt very Euphoria twerking when you look back a little bit.
Wasn't invented yet in 1992.
But yeah, and then, okay, so Jill was one of the girlies that was on the yearbook staff when I was in it. And she would sit there with, I'm not kidding you, a safety pin and separate every eyelash
And she'd sit there in the morning with her curler and she'd have clumps of just, it looked, and she thought she was the hottest shit. And I look back and I wonder, God, I hope she figured that out. Like,
I mean, some of them don't. Like, you still see the.
no. I mean, Britney Spears is still doing her smoky eye when you catch her clone on camera every once in a while. Like,
Yeah, you
anyway.
gotta. I know. It's just a totally different world, obviously. So,
Yeah. Okay. We're down.
so anyway,
Do you want to tell everybody where you've been? You want to share with the class where you were?
I think I've talked about it already. Like I talked about Norwalk, I'm pretty sure. Maybe that was on the Patreon episode. So
Yeah.
get over there if you're not.
What about Texas?
Yeah. So after Norwalk, we went on spring break. So we went to Palm Springs for the week, just me and Terry and Cecily. So that was like mostly really nice and relaxing until Cecily had a horrible allergic reaction at Nobu and had to go to the ER.
What an awful place to have an allergic reaction to some of the best foods that you can have. Like,
well, also like now realizing, so we're pretty sure it's salmon that she's allergic to. And she already started to have a reaction earlier before she tried that. So I think it might have been cross-contamination, which is scary because at that level of restaurant, they shouldn't be doing that. Because she was eating all vegetarian up to that point. So anyway, that we're figuring out, which is like a weird. I'm glad it's that because you can't stumble upon, like, you don't really accidentally eat salmon or fish per se, but the cross-contamination is what's scary. But so
because
anyway,
you don't ever know. You can't really protect from that other than just warning kitchens and wait staff and
hope they're respectful of it.
Damn, that's a whole thing now. I didn't even think about. Yeah, I guess I feel lucky that.
Oh yeah, I have no allergies like that. I don't know. We have an appointment with the actual allergist in a few weeks, so hopefully we'll get more info of what could happen. But TikTok has a lot of information on that because also I wanted to go to Japan, so I'm like, is this a bad idea? And are they just going to be like, either they're going to be really respectful of it, or they're going to be like, "Fuck you, Americans!"
Like, we don't have anything for you. Go eat.
Yeah. And then the language of it also. Anyway.
Wait, Japan is new. Wait, in general or like imminently?
No, I mean, kind of 2026. It would be nice.
Oh yeah, okay, girl, that's imminent. If it's happening this year, because in my head I'm already like, and we'll be at High Point in October, and so like I'm like that already feels imminent to me. So if for sure, if you're going, offline, I can tell you because I don't know if I should share it, but a designer that we're both very friendly with told me that she's going in November and is so excited. And I feel like November feels like a good time because you're like you're between those seasons kind of like there's no hot, it's cooling down. It's not like you're getting cherry blossoms and you're not going thinking you're getting that.
No, but you might get leaves and that's kind of what I'm thinking is first, very, very end of October, 1st of November. But it's for Terry's retirement, so we're trying to like plan a trip, but I don't want to go anywhere in the summer. It's just people in hot pretty much everywhere. So
I wonder if you could do like a private onsen or something where it's just the family who uses it. Like, I feel like Cecily might not, like, I don't think do they have minors in onsen? I feel like that would be very dangerous, but that's also American culture. That would be weird. Like,
yeah, and I don't know. It's just some of the like chill out things aren't going to be that relaxing.
She's like, you guys go there,
like,
I'll stay in the room. Like, yeah,
exactly.
She's like, I'm gonna watch some anime in my room. Like, you're like, girl, we're in the birthplace of anime. Like, don't you want to go see stuff? She'll want to shop. You're gonna come home with 1 million blind boxes.
Oh my God, yes. And Terry wants to go somewhere beachy, and I'm just like, well, and so I'm looking at like there are places in Japan. I just don't know the season of that, and then maybe stopping in Hawaii could be a move too.
Ooh, like on the way back.
I would rather do it on the way back. So like you end on it. relaxed note.
That's what I'm thinking of, like, oh, all that cityness gets balanced with what, and then you get the stopover halfway back kind of vibe. Like you're like, oh, cool, catch some air, move around, couple days just relaxing.
So
And then that little
that's kind of
shorty flight on the way back too is kind of
yeah,
nice.
just a little 5-hour bop.
I like that
Um,
idea.
Yeah, so I actually need to find. I think I want to ask you guys, like, because I know you and Heather have a travel agent that you've worked with, so I want to maybe look at that.
Yeah.
I had a client yesterday who lives in Tokyo, so I had a call with someone in Tokyo yesterday, so I was asking her too, and I don't know, the jury is just like, you don't know how people are going to act with the allergy stuff. So,
Oh my God, how global and like jet setter of you of like, oh, it's on a call with a client
no,
in Tokyo. Like what?
she has
Shut up! Like,
it's a house here, but they live there. I don't totally know.
hello, like
I know
the
that would be
dreams,
amazing
the
if
dreams of all of it. Like,
it was there. But yeah, trying to find an overlap of time. She's like, the time change really makes it harder. So there's like,
yeah,
it's 8 a.m. there and 4 p.m. here.
yeah, you're like right at the edge of a workable day here when they're just barely getting. I feel like maybe your client aside from this, but I feel like in general, I'm imagining one of my friends who's frequently talking to employees in Korea, and it's just like someone has to
Someone's
be
sacrificing.
like someone has to be more industrious. Either you're going to work a long day if you're on U.S. time zone, you're going to be up late or having an 8 o'clock call with Seoul, or somebody there, which it usually is how many people are going to have the worst day. So it's like whoever is, if it's like one US person and 10 people in Korea, then they all have, like, Korea gets to pick the time and the US just has to suffer, is kind of the, or like seniority is the way they do it, where it's like the senior most person, their availability dictates how everybody else has to do it, which kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah, especially if they're assholes and pick like noon. Like
yeah, or
someone's up in
even
the
for
middle of the
them, they're
night.
like, you know what? 6 o'clock in Seoul works once I finished all my other work days. So then everybody else has to have a long work day because of that. Like,
Yeah.
yuck. That's not for me.
Not the
Um,
most prime brain thinking time.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, but we totally
okay,
skipped over
sorry.
Texas.
So after that, I was like week. I had another trip back to my client in Texas because I was invited to have a photo shoot for a magazine. So I've known about it for a while, and it was just going to be a feature that when I went in November, that an editor that follows me asked if it had already had publishing.
They DM'd you, right? I don't think you've said this on a public podcast. I think you said it on a Patreon.
Yes, she emailed me and she said, yeah, they have an issue, and that was supposed to be May of, and they wanted to do a little feature of the house, and they would use my photographer Whitney's photos, and that was nice. So like, I'm like, yeah, I don't have to pitch anything or pay anyone, like, done. So then like it was only like 6 weeks ago now, she emailed back. She's like, actually, like a little bit of change of plans. We're thinking of pushing, if we can push the story back to August, then, or July, then we can do a full house tour and give you the cover, and we'll shoot the cover. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a totally different story. So
That's a totally new vein. Yeah.
So that was awesome. And they sent a whole team. So they sent a photographer, his assistant, stylist, his assistant, and then the photo editor, all met there. And I was like trying in the beginning to tell them, like, you guys, this is very far out. Like just remotely wise. Like I just wanted to make
how
sure they knew
isolated
where
the
it
house
was,
was. Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
intentional.
Like, you guys should go on Google Earth, zoom out, zoom out, zoom
It was
out,
like one
zoom
way,
out,
yeah.
zoom out. Okay, wait, eventually you'll get to the airport.
Well, the airport's Houston, so that's easy. But the drive, like, it's like a 2-hour drive from Houston, which it's not terrible, but it's just like it's a full travel day. So, and that's like the reason the clients chose it. Like it's this really quiet kind of fishing area. It's really beautiful, like a lot of wildlife and like every time I'm there, I'm like, wait, there's dolphins and alligators? Like it's just like it's like marsh, river, sea. Like it's like so many different types of
Oh, it's
water.
like kind of like brackish water, I'm imagining that.
Part of it. And then there's a full river and it's like all the
It's like wetlands.
yeah, and it's the Texas I can't remember. I don't know if aqueduct is the right word, but it's like also going parallel is like where all the oil transport, like it's where they transport things through Texas too.
Is it a pipeline or is it like
No, like boats.
oh, I understand. Okay, got it.
So it's just a lot of water. Like there's a lot of waterways going in pretty much every direction. It's like there's very little land. Oh, actually, when we were there, they're like, oh, they're moving cows today. I'm like, cows? I've never even seen a cow there. There's
On
this
a boat?
there's a huge ranch like across the river that the cows all are on the ranch. And they had in order to transport them out, they need to get to the main road, which is across the river. So either they have to drive around like hundreds of miles to get the same distance of like, or they just put the cows on a barge and cross the river.
What in the Oregon Trail is happening?
So there's like all these cowboys and horses. It was like a cattle drive just across this little river. Yeah, it was
How
pretty funny.
cool,
It was
though.
like so Texas and the area of being like in the ocean. So
What an
my client,
experience, though.
I know my client listens to this show, so she's probably hearing it.
Oh, I love that. I think that's really cool. And you have a great relationship with them and you've gotten to know them. And I feel like it's exciting for you. And you were sharing that they were really excited about this experience too. Like it
Yeah,
is
like they
like
got a portrait in it, which was really cute. And they're like, not ones to take photos of themselves all the time. So they had like a cute little lifestyle in the kitchen moment and then an actual portrait of them. So yeah, it's going to be really cool when it comes out.
I'm so excited for
And it was
you.
just fun for me to just experience like a big team like that and stylists who work on and photographers who work on these national magazines all the time. And they were all great. Like the professionalism was like at a high, and just seeing how they operate and how they're positioning photos for the brand of that magazine is different than like the styling is just a little bit different because it has to be just bigger and bolder than probably I would put on my personal portfolio, but it's still like not a huge deviation. But
what a fantastic experience. And like, you're like, it's different than your own photo shoot when you get to see that like editorial level of like stylists and magazines and like they're like a primed machine.
yeah, it was
like they're like, well,
depersonalized a lot. Like it didn't feel like, I don't know, it just felt different than like they asked me like if there's anything you don't like tell us, but they didn't change that much. And it was cool to see like the styling element too, where like I knew exactly why he was doing everything and felt, I don't know, not justified in my thinking, but like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing kind of too, I guess.
yeah, like, cool. They didn't need to like change all the stuff the way I did it because it was good the way I did it.
What he was doing is what I would do too in a way. So
like if you didn't like if something in a shot looked funny or something was weird, he was like already anticipating and pulling and he could see those things. Yeah, I feel like it's reassuring, like a little bit of an ego boost to be like, oh yeah, oh look, someone who does this like also
I didn't
for a
learn
living.
a lot.
Like,
I guess that's what it was, is I didn't feel like I learned a lot because I already kind of knew a lot. So in a good way.
honestly, wait, pause. That's an interesting reflection because I think you and I are both learners. Like we want to see how it works, why it works, where it's from. Like
What
we'd like
don't
to
I know how to do right?
Yeah. Or like
me-
how would you do it different? And I feel like that's an interesting lesson to take because I've heard, I'm just saying like other designers, hotties, whoever will say like, oh, I went to this thing and I didn't learn anything, or I had heard it before, or, oh, they said the same thing at their last speaking engagement. And then now I'm thinking like, oh, wait, the other lens of that is, wow, I feel really confident about myself. Like I left, here's someone I admire, and our knowledge base is really similar to each other. And that feels good.
Yeah, like it's not tearing anybody down. It's like building yourself up to where like, oh, I'm not a total dum-dum. I do kind of know one or two things to like as a confidence boost.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that was really fun. I got to hang out with the clients who are really amazing, and now I like stay with them, and it's like I'm on, a little beach house with them, which is totally awesome. We didn't shoot all the, they actually didn't reshoot, well, one of the bedrooms. Most of the bedrooms didn't get reshot, so we were able to stay there and not like affect anything. So
that's really good. That's so fun.
it's
I know
so
you're kind
quiet
of like
and dark there. Like it's so amazingly peaceful. Like you turn the, like I was telling someone, like I turned the lights out and I got scared because like turn the light out, I had to walk 2 steps to the bed, and I literally could not see
like
one thing.
And I comment on that when I visit you, because it's not even like, it's just the comparison of like coming from my area, which is like, there is always noise and sound pollution and everything when you're in like Long
It's
Beach is
quieter at my house.
Long Beach is like a 500,000 people. Like there's nowhere to hide. And then when I come in, I visit you, and you're not even very far away from like central Sacramento where you are.
No.
But to be like at night, I'm like,
in the
oh,
suburbs.
it is dark. Like, but for what I'm used to, like
We don't have street lights either.
that's what I'm saying. And then your neighborhood will just be quiet. Like you're not going to hear someone, like you don't have a lot of people coming in from late night work shifts and stuff. Like it's a nice, quiet, like probably like more bedroom community where people are like, we go to work, we come home, we're not out too late.
Sometimes there's
like,
sideshows though that we can hear.
We do. Yeah,
like,
we've had
what
fun
the
with
hell?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that was a really fun experience. So stay tuned, hotties. I will share, of course, when it comes out, I think July.
And another reason, I think you and I mentioned this, of like why it's good to share what you work on. And editors and people are out there following designers and watching what you do. And if they're, in your case,
I was home. I think I was still at the airport when she emailed me. Like,
honestly, they have to be quick, right? Because they'll get scooped. Like they'll get a story that, or like they want to be there. And I think what's interesting about, well, we'll know more when we could say more when we come out, but what I can say without ruining anything is that project and the style and where you've been moving Studio Plum towards creatively is like in a niche that is easy for editors. Like when they're like, oh, this is a designer that is easily going to have other projects that could fit into a niche for us. They're paying attention to people who are in those veins of like, ooh, this would be good, because they're tapped in to all of this stuff. So, and sometimes they're the most anonymous profiles they're following you from. Like you'd have no idea.
yeah, and like now, I mean, talking to her too, just about the industry and publishing and just how it's changed. And most of their features are, what does she call them? Not found photos, but something like that, where they're just sourcing projects that are already shot. And it's very rare, like maybe 1 or 2 times a year do they actually produce a shoot like this anymore. So that's her job, is to go like find projects and bring them to the magazine. So that also just felt, yeah, obviously really special. Like very many shoots happening. It's probably going to just be less and less as the years go on. So yeah, I got a little taste of.
I know it's like a kind of a pinch me, and you made it work with your schedule and getting out there and traveling, because it was kind of like, we thought we were taking a break for spring break, and then you're like, actually, I'm just like kind of loading up a bunch of stuff anyway.
I know.
Like,
it's not, I can't just pop there. Like it's 2 days of travel for sure. So
yeah.
But worth it. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Other stuff that's been happening. What else has been going on? My spring break isn't until the end of the month. I'm going to Hawaii. So Hotties. I don't think there's much of a gap that
It's
the
not
hotties will
spring.
notice for that.
I mean, it's not spring break. It's a break you're
It's
taking in
a
the spring.
break. Yeah, it's
Like you're
that
not
like
timing it with a spring break per se.
not really. No, in fact, it was like on purpose to
Avoid
avoid
it.
spring
Yeah.
breakers and like get away from people still being like on their vacations. So that'll be nice to leave. It's that like final week of April to that first couple days of May. So it's like, did I hit every single goal I wanted to? Like, I'm kind of like still deprogramming that, like, you get to go on vacations. Like, it's still breaking that down of like, even if all your quarterly goals don't get hit, you still go do things that you want to do and rest and relax. And like, it's still for me deprogramming that like productivity and reward are like must be tied together. Like, that's totally unhealthy. That's like still being worked on in therapy. Like,
Definitely don't I have the like, oh, I did something great, I get a reward, but not a like I don't get a reward if I don't hit a goal.
uh-huh. And that's like unfortunately why vacationing and taking time off wasn't like that's a whole problematic thought loop. So for me, it's like, okay, we're still breaking those patterns and feeling like you like for me, it's like, bitch, you don't need to take your laptop out of your backpack. You do not need to take that with you. Like maybe your tablet, like keep your Kindle keep your Kindle, whatever, but like you are not opening AutoCAD on your vacation. Just
No, not if you don't need to. Not if it's a real vacation. I categorize things as real vacations versus half vacation. Like Palm Springs was a half vacation. I brought my laptop to that, and it was like, okay, you're gonna go and you're gonna work a little bit. Texas, but can I just tell you about? I think I told you this on Marco Polo, maybe, but the amount of focus I can get with half an Adderall on a plane. I'm telling you, I could have been on that airplane for 12 hours and knocked out a month's worth of work.
so did you like you full on were in the time warp?
Oh my God. And I was so locked in. Like, well, to the Sacramento to Houston flight is, for some reason, first class is super affordable. So I was comfortable. I had room.
Also, if the flight wasn't affordable, it's still okay.
Well, I know, but it's not. It's only 4 hours. I don't know. It's not like it's that uncomfortable. So
yeah.
I wouldn't have like fully valued that, but yeah, I don't know. I could have done so much on that. So
You like
put
went
a little bit of noise canceling headphones on, and
Yeah, it's amazing how when our brains like really hit their stride and you're like, damn, we really be having super processors up here. Like they're really like
it's like the white noise really helps me like turn in.
it's so funny because this week I've been working on like getting things organized in my office, I've been doing a lot of Pomodoro method of just like keeping myself moving, trying to prevent myself from entering those like slump moments where it's like, oh, you could settle for an hour or so. Oh, now you could go on Pinterest. Like, no, just 25 minutes, keep going, 20 minutes, keep going. And what's funny is I'm usually listening to like dance or like EDM music the whole time because of that. Like, it's like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and it just like, it's like a gym workout. You're just like, I gotta go. Like, I have to keep going.
Well, it's a little bit of, that like your brain, like frequency thing. It's that.
Yeah. I think it's trying to like harmonize with my brain a little bit of like, oh, okay, now everything is running at that. But then I notice that I am ready for like complete silence at the end of my days.
It's
Like
so overstimulating.
it's a
That
lot.
music is really overstimulating.
Yeah. So I can only have so many like bursts of that where then I'm like back to my lo-fi beats music again.
And you can't listen to like books.
No, because talking is too distracting. Like talking is then I switch to like data processing mode and my head is like trying to catch the words while doing a thing.
Yeah. I still stand though by you have to train yourself to get used to it.
To what?
Listening to books.
Oh yeah, like an audiobook I usually do good on those when I have like long times to drive. And now I'm only driving like 10 minutes or so. So by the time my brain is like really in, I'm
Yeah.
already coming back out, you
Because
know?
I do better when my body's moving, but it's not thoughtful work, like
Uh-huh.
laundry, dishes. I could do what you were probably doing with organizing.
Do you ever turn off the lights when you shower?
We have a nightlight in ours, so if I shower at night, then I'll turn that on. But I don't
Yeah.
really shower at night that much.
There's like a TikTok. Could not even tell you who it was, but it's like about showering in the dark. And then of course, I follow the blue link rabbit hole down to other people and psychologists talking about it, where they're like, yeah, this is like a proven thing. Like your brain needs a lot to process optical inputs, and it's taking in a lot of data, and then it's trying to figure out what to do with it. And so just by turning that off, or having like almost no optical data coming in, your brain can run all those other processes. And so I'm like, oh, I get it. Like,
It's like turning the buffering off in the background of your computer.
it's not saying like speed slowed to upload or something. Like it's not hitting that little like rainbow spinny wheel kind of thing. So I thought that was really interesting. And I've been doing some of that, like just like a candle outside of the shower. So it's very low light. And that's helpful too to reset that. Honestly, even in the morning, it's nice if it's like just no bright lights on yet. And it's just whatever daylight's coming in, and don't add any new.
We don't have any overheads in our bathroom, but we have like this fan that it's kind of cheesy, but it's like Bluetooth speaker, and then it has a yellow light and a blue light for nightlight mode.
Oh.
So that's kind of nice. So like if one of us goes to bed early, we'll leave the blue light nightlight on in the bathroom, so someone can come in and then not turn all the lights on, but still see where they are in our dark house.
It's dark. I'm telling you, it's dark out there. Like, yeah, you need that for sure. Switching gears, I want to tell you about this cool program that I've heard about. And I honestly don't know. I wish it was available to more people. And I really would love to find a way if it existed somewhere else. But it's at the MCA, Museum of Contemporary Art in Denver. And they have a program called the Octopus Initiative. So if you guys want to read about this, it's mcadenver.org. I came across this. They have a program where residents of the Denver metro area get a chance to borrow and live with works of art from the MCA
that was gonna be an
in their
octopus.
in their home for
Okay.
10 months for free. So you get to have like modern, like contemporary art
real
from like
art.
museum quality artists living in your home with you. Like borrowing from a
What's
library for 10 months.
Why 10 months?
I think it's like up to a year, and then it gives them like I think it's like, as I'm reading about it, it's like they need time to like collect them back in, maybe turn them back out, repair or do anything, and then put them back out again. Like I think it gives them downtime.
What's the qualifying? Oh, so like when your appointment ends at 9:50, so they can start again at 10.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
vibe. It's like, oh, every year we want to make more works available. You have 10 months. That gives us time to like collect the arts, catalog them, put them back
What is
into
your
the
insurance
cycle.
policy to be?
What is the what policy?
Your insurance, like
Oh, I have no idea. Yeah, you
what
get
are you into that?
randomly selected through a lottery. So there's a couple ways, like you sign up and you're on the list, and then you get to go through the works and put like hearts, basically. Like you say, oh, I like this one, I want to use that one. And then it's from a lottery after that based on the ones you like. And right now it's not open. I mean, not like I live in Denver, but they were like, oh, we're updating the lottery system and the listing and stuff like that. But if any hotties are listening and you're in greater Denver, I feel like
That's
it'd
really
be
cool.
so cool. And I
Or
really
for your
wish that
clients, like could you do it
like
or
have
like at least
them.
have like on behalf of the clients, like select.
Yeah. I just think that's such a fantastic way to get really like museum quality art in front of families and friends. And like, I just think how cool that would be for like the greater part of a year to be able to share that with
your friends, your family, if you have kids in the household and they like art, like you could start having that conversation. I don't know, just
Yeah, I'm really curious, like what the qualification levels are, or if they like ensure it for you. Like,
yeah. And I wonder how, obviously it depends on like how, like what level of quality. I'm sure there are like, again, tiers of artwork. We should ask Heather Knight Wolcott, because she used to work in fine art. So she'd be like, oh, this looks like art that's in this tier level. And then like maybe it's like less worrisome when you're looking at like a high quality photograph or something that was taken.
yeah, because I would think that they would like vet where it is and how like sunlight or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like
Interesting.
adopting a pet. Like,
Yeah.
do you have sufficient income to support this artwork? Are you going to be able to take this
Yeah.
artwork for its regular checkups? Like, but I thought that was just really,
That is really cool.
And I wish there were more places that you could do that. How cool that would be. How cool would it be if there was like at the public library art, like that had been donated and is like
Some
part
do,
of
because
that?
there
Like,
are those libraries that like our library has that like I can't think library. It's like a library of things or something they call it. So like you can rent like a sewing machine or like random tools or
I
3D
want them to
printers.
have world-class artwork that's like been donated by people's estates or something. Like that would be so cool if you could just get more beautiful art into the world. Maybe I'm a socialist. I don't know.
Yeah, or even in schools or something that's like more people could access it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be fantastic. Okay, nonprofit alert. Like that would be so cool, actually. Come on, Bill and Melinda Gates. Do something, billionaires. Save us.
Well, like kind of related, we have a lot of chatter and DMs with some of our groups, and there was, not going to call her out, but there was a designer who maybe is a newer designer, and she's doing really cool social media stuff. Like she's making it work with the ideas of like, she did this series of this post that was a carousel of why and how real art will make or break a room, or real versus print.
I do remember this. We were looking at this. Yes.
Yeah, and it was a great post. Like I have issues with it, but she did like before and afters, or like here's an image with a fine art, and then here's an image with like a print or like retail kind of art.
Yes.
And she does a good job of talking about the like reasoning why it adds value. And I totally agree with everything she was saying.
And you can visibly see, like you can see it as soon as it goes from one to the other. You're like, oh, well, duh. Like you can,
yeah.
it's very obvious.
My issue, and I don't know why no one else is commenting this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just...
Like there's like an ick factor.
Well, she's using designers' photos.
Yes.
And for both of them. So, and I don't think when I looked at it, there weren't a lot of credits. And I think she asked like, hey, if you know whose this is. She's just going on Pinterest, which y'all know.
And there were
like,
people who were like, this one was ours. And she's like, oh, cool. And I updated
really? I didn't
it.
see
Like,
that.
I was like reading that too, because I
But
was
I
like,
don't
is
want to say,
nobody...
hey, that's mine. My client had that poster art from whatever, and we incorporated it in their kitchen nook.
That's
like,
the part that felt weird to me.
Don't tear down my work. Like, that's shitty.
That felt weird. And then also, I was like, weren't some of them edited out maybe with AI or something? Which, like, I don't know. That's not really an issue for me because it's basically photoshopping.
So, like, what I think would be great is if she had her own proven work to show, that she could show her finished photo with her fine art that she was able to sell to a client and got it photographed because she's at that level. Then you AI strip it out and replace it with something that's like a retail thing. But it has to be your own work, and your photographer has to like also know that you did that.
I feel like we're very sensitive to that because we're also very conscious of like, well, if I'm buying the rights to something, they're mine and they're not yours. And so it feels very weird when we see other people
I also just think like she's making a valid point, but she's using designers' work to talk about how shitty something looks. Which I just think is like
It's a like, well,
rude.
don't do it like they did it.
Oh yeah, here's how a room without fine art looks. But it was a photograph professional. They were professionally photographed rooms that she was using as the don't and the do's, but they were different. But they weren't, I don't believe any of them were her clients' work.
I know whenever I have those like videos like that, I start to feel unsettled is like the closest emotion I can come to, where I'm like, there's something that's not fitting right with me, and I have a little bit of an ick, or I don't quite like how
I
it was
get
done.
defensive.
And
Like, I feel defensive about it. Like, I feel this way a lot about student art or student work, where they have to do some sort of critique or analysis, and they're using critical thinking and things that they learned in their school book, but they haven't been on the side of having a client in front of you who has a very specific ask, need, budget. That the big work to me is getting a project from point A to point B and C. Like, the sales of that, not just the idea and your brilliant, like, esoteric, like, thoughts, because those are important. Like, have them. They're there. Like, they are important and true. But, like, getting shit across the finish line, most of our hotties listening here will know that is where the rubber meets the road. That is the actual work.
that's
Like,
the real stuff, is execution and actually like getting out of your headspace
and
sometimes.
the
And then
budget. Like, when I was in graphic design, we would look at portfolios a lot, and I would just like always roll my eyes at some of the student work because they're showing these like mocked up, I don't remember how they did it because this was pre-AI, but mocked up invitations for a birthday party, and they're using foil and it's like engraving, like
oh yeah,
all these processes that would make each piece of paper cost $25.
like it's a billionaire's 9-year-old
no,
birthday party.
no one's doing that. Yeah, like someone's doing it, but
The rest of us are on paperless posts, girl. Like,
you got to make it work with just the finishes that you can sell and the
I mean,
client
there's
can
like an
afford.
elegance too that we're trying to capture with that, which is like sometimes there's a simplicity of what can I create? Like I saw, this is like the scrappiness factor is I saw a designer, and again, we see so much stuff, I don't know who. They had the simplest, like, it's like a half cylinder shape wall sconce. Like very, it's like that very similar, just like half cylinder, little fabric covering it. And they had put a custom fabric on it. And I was looking at it and I'm like, look, they might have charged the person, that client, who knows, a lot of money for this. But to be very fair, it's basically just a half round lampshade with a junction box behind it. Like it looked to me when I saw it, I was like, it's finished really nicely, but it looks as though it was like, we have to get scrappy with the budget. And I love seeing those when I look at design projects, and I'm like, covering that
Because that's a good
table,
idea.
covering a basic frame table, like say you have a little like entry console or something like for all I know, it could be made from 2x4s underneath, but then you put a really beautiful, very tailored table cover over it, like how you put like fabric over a tissue box,
But or like they sell those tables that are like the tripod tables with the MDF or whatever.
Oh,
Like
they're
they sell
like
them at
particle underneath.
Walmart. Yeah, they're particle board for like
Yes.
$10, and you screw the little legs in on the
My
bottom.
mom did that at her
Yeah.
when she separated from my dad and we had an apartment. She was like, my mom was definitely
I would
scrappy.
still do that with that.
She
You're
was
just going to spend $1,000 on the skirt, but yeah.
Yeah, or like scrappy getting scrappy with remnant fabric and still selling those to your client and making a tablecloth out of it or using it to style a shoot. Like, I think you and I have used stuff like that to make like faux curtains and stuff like that. Like, you just got to make it work and be good with the budget sometimes. And I think that's the most fun, is when you see a detail like that and you're like, that should probably cost them like a couple $100, but it's completely custom and it looks way more expensive. And that scrappiness of getting a project over that line.
Idea is still like the root of it. And so back to that post, I again, I totally agree with what she's saying. And like it could have been just showing vintage flea market art and how that would elevate a space instead of using like a Target piece. Like that point is still totally true. And she probably could have shot that herself
Probably.
and executed that, So anyway, just be careful when you're using other people's work. Like at least make sure you're being
And I know that wasn't her
helpful.
intent, but it still comes across that way. That's why it's even harder, is because you're like, ooh, girl, like you were so close. Like
It would come
this.
across that way if it was my work in there, for sure.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, if one of those had been mine, I would have felt similar. I'd been like, hey, love this, but we don't love being part of the
Maybe
way
it
you're
was
saying
AI.
it.
It could have been AI, honestly, but it did not look like it. It was really great renderings if it was. So if it was AI, I take it all back.
But if it
Great
wasn't,
job.
if it wasn't, you should think about it.
Be careful. Yeah.
We're not exactly trying to figure out like all the ways you can talk on social media, but I just feel like in general, the vein that when I'm excited to follow people, it's because they're not ripping down. They're not ripping down other people constantly, and they're not.
Well, we're
reading
ripping
other
someone down
work
in this conversation, but I am not naming names, showing receipts. So like, that's
yeah,
the
I feel like
difference.
that's where it starts to
like
turn like mean girl
photographic.
behavior.
Yeah, that's photographic evidence that it's a real person's project. I have another little spicy
update?
topic. No,
Spicy?
I'm kind of. You and I have been talking, and I know you've been kind of in this idea about construction documentation and renderings, and like you're kind of doing some consideration of like what software you want to use and like figuring out outsourcing and stuff.
Yes.
So, which is just, I feel like, never ending story for all of us. I have got to like solve this in my business.
It's a roadblock for you.
It's a roadblock. It's a mental block. It's like a project block. It's a problem. So I use Chief Architect. I'm definitely happy with it. There are so many like ways to export Chief files. So you've been talking about looking at like Rayon or Vectorworks.
Yeah.
And so Huddies, if anyone
in addition
is
to
using
Chief.
those.
Yeah, but
Oh, in addition?
like,
oh, it's in the mix.
I'm considering, Chief Architect is still in the mix of
Decision.
This is your, like the quick behind the scenes, really quick. I'm considering not using CAD anymore. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to, but like, I'm trying to explore not needing CAD plus SketchUp plus outsourcing for photorealistic rendering.
Because if
or
you
like,
outsource your documents, you kind of need to decide what platform you're using.
Right, because I don't want to have to find another party every time.
Because they don't cross over. Like the people are pretty much committed to one, I feel like.
Exactly. Okay, so that's like why I'm contemplating.
Yeah, and this was just making me just think about, like you were talking on Marco Polo about like quality of renderings and how you haven't always liked the way the Chief ones look. And I know what you're talking about. Like they can look kind of cartoony AI in a way, or like really like low budget, which I don't present I work in 3D to more show scale, flow, fielding, and it's not realistic. Like I could figure out how to process them to look really realistic, but I don't really like the way that looks.
That's kind of how I feel. I was like, I like them to be a little bit artistic.
And you can add filters to do that. Like I put like hand-drawn lines, like you can change it to be hand-drawn lines. I think you could probably change the way the fills are rendered if they look more sketchy. I just haven't spent a lot of time on it because I don't want clients to hang their hats on any of it. I just want
like
them
you
to
said it was this, and you're like, calm down. We knew that this corner would be odd. We talked about it, and now you're like holding up this drawing I gave you saying, why isn't it like this? Like,
yeah, or the color looks different or something. So, but that was just making me also think about, we were, again, like internally offline commenting on a pretty high-end designer's presentation that was shared on Instagram. And it showed, like, I love it when designers do this. Like, show me your presentation. Like, I want to see how you're presenting things to clients. Like, we love that.
I will screen record so I can go through slowly and understand. I'm like, you gave them this page and they wrote you a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like,
And they said
what?
yes. So this is just what I have found, and you and I both like this is a thing we notice. A lot
Yes.
of these big designers are doing the least. Like,
I mean, I think my exact comment was like, oh, we're really out here doing the most with these
we're doing the most.
presentations. And that was with my sarcasm, which in a
Oh, I
typed,
thought you meant you and I are doing the most because it
No,
feels like
no.
it compared like.
Oh, I mean, by comparison, yeah, I feel like I'm doing
Because it was
way too
like,
much.
so just to describe what it would be like a armchair.
Yes.
And it's in some random pattern that the manufacturer had it in.
Yeah.
And then just like a square next to it of the fabric.
But it's also a graphic representation of the fabric.
Yeah. I'm sure they're showing like the physical samples in the meeting, but there was not one part of me that could imagine that fabric on that chair. Like, I have a hard time visualizing.
Was too distracting.
Yeah, because it was like pattern and pattern. Like, I have a hard time. Sometimes I'm surprised when I do the rendering with an actual pattern fabric on a chair. Like,
and you're
wow.
like, oh, it's gonna look cool. Like,
or like, oh, it looks really bland. Like, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, it wasn't this boring when I imagined it. Like,
but there were multiple pieces that were shown that way. Like, pretty much everything in the presentation had like the little website version and then a little square.
Yes.
Where like, come on. Like,
it felt lo-fi.
So lo-fi. And I just don't know, is that a move? Like, are we trying to like, is it like lowbrow to put it in ChatGPT and have it render it? Like,
I mean, I'm also trying to imagine. So this is like this is a headspace thing, which maybe is like a whole other issue. You do reach a point when you're working with people who literally just have money to waste, where if a designer says, trust me, you're going to spend $8,000 on this chair in this fabric and it's going to look great. And people go, okay, because they don't.
Like, if at that point it's just contractual, he's just saying like, here's a chair, here's a fabric. That's what I told you. You signed off. Like, I'm not trying to get you to like come down a path with me. I'm not like painting a picture in any way. Like, the client has no idea what their room is going to look like. Like, that's crazy to me.
It is crazy. I just think that they're like, I'm trying to think of a situation where it would be fine to present that way, and not one of my clients would say, I see the paint color that you showed me, and yeah, go ahead, just toss it up. No approval, pay the painter.
Unless it's white, like, yeah, unless they like know they want a white house and this is the white paint I picked. Like, they don't care, but
we don't have clients like that yet.
I don't know if I want clients like that. That's the thing. That's kind of where I'm getting at, is like, I want them to care. I want them to be excited. I don't want them to fight me on it and hem and haw necessarily, but it's okay kind of if they do because they're invested. I guess the only time I could see that working is if I was doing commercial work and like, I'm just proving this is what you're buying and this is what you're getting.
I'm just showing it to you so you know. Like, so I don't want to hear I never presented it to you later because I
or
did.
Like, it's just some manager that's saying, okay.
Oh, like a house manager type of?
Maybe, yeah. Or it's like it's a fourth house or something that they don't, it's just Weston chic, you know? Like,
yeah. Where like they just don't, like an Airbnb is what you were saying. Like, oh, it's just an Airbnb and they just tossed a bunch of stuff in there and no big deal and nobody cares.
Like, you approve the mood board to get the vibes and everything else is just execution. I don't know. I just can't. I'm also like hyper conscientious about making sure people fully understand what I'm explaining. So I maybe go further with the like depiction and not just kind of is the reverse of what I said originally about not wanting to over render, but I just want each piece to be clear of what you're getting. Like, I don't want to just write like ripple fold, drapery, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want people to know what that means. Like, here's what ripple fold means. Like, here's what it looks like. Here's what your hardware looks like. I don't know.
Don't you think if you had like artistically inclined clients or maybe more visually inclined, like I deal with a lot of people who are not like that. I can say, what if we took this chair and this fabric and they're like, oh, I see it. It'll be amazing. Like some people do. But I think that if I were working with clients who were like that, presenting would be very easy. The work would be very quick. And especially with an extreme level of trust where you say, the best way to install these is going to be a ripple fold drapery. Here's a picture of what that looks like.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
all.
pulling from and like just pulling a picture so you know what a double pinch plate looks like if you don't speak the same language. But I do think there's a chance that that type of client, that we're not saying who this designer was that posted this, but they're big. They have books. They have a book, at least.
They have
There's
countries.
a chance that their clientele knows what some of these things are like, or has run this before, has done it before, has done a house like this before.
That's such a rare gift. I don't know.
I agree.
Like, I don't think I can do it. And I am a highly visual person. And I see a lot of this turning into that. Like, I'm constantly surprised at High Point when I see a fabric I've seen before get applied in a different way. Then I'm like, oh, wow, I don't think I ever would have tried that. Unless I
think it is like that trust, or they're just so rich and overwhelmed that they do not care. That they're like, whatever, it's just another chair in another house I own.
And they're not going to be disappointed or like wish it was a different way. Like, I don't know. So
we were both kind of surprised when we saw that, though. Like, we want better renderings, we want better art, or we want better documentation.
I do think you and I personally care about the fonts on the presentation. You know, like we care about the nuance of some of that, which I see a lot of designers that don't care as much or have a different feeling of what good looks like.
That is not shady. She doesn't mean that at all to be shady,
well,
except maybe a little bit.
Everyone's a graphic designer, and it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, though, it doesn't actually matter, like, what the font is. Like, that is not selling your chair to the client. So that part truly doesn't matter. So it's like, don't get hung up.
That's the part where you're like, they're not actually...
This is my problem.
Looking at this,
But, like, when that client started going off on her project that she did with Amber Interiors and, like, was showing all these receipts and stuff. Like, those presentations weren't highly mind-blowing either. No. So they're not spending time on it. So maybe that's just like, I just need to check myself on how much time I do spend on that part. And I always am thinking about that.
I know some of it is us overthinking a little bit. Like, oh, they won't get it, or...
Yeah, or I'm scared that they're going to say no. So, but I do think it helps, but I get less no's when I do that, especially if it's something that's a little bit of a push.
When I can show that it is a, like, hey, this is a really, like, this was a very thought out decision. I did not come to this lightly. And when I can usually show them, hey, here's why I'm landing here. Like, I think it's when I start with, like, you wanted, like, if I'm in a presentation, I'm like, so here's where we're starting from here. You said you wanted to increase flow, but you wanted it to be open floor plan. And I'm actually going to show you something that's going to work different and is going to have some closed floor plan elements, because it's going to, and then I have to start with here's why you're seeing this idea. And I can go, because I can get storage, like in this photo, because I can do a window treatment like you're seeing with this when I do this thing that you weren't anticipating. And then they're like, then they start to go, okay, this is why I need you to, like, also give me some photos that you're pointing out. Like, look, kids, if you look off to the left, you'll see a pelmet. And if you look off to the right, it's like this custom millwork detail. Like, I'm kind of trying to
take them through it in a way that I imagine they're trying to absorb all the, because we're giving them so much. So digestible pieces is really nice for them.
Yeah, and that's why I do really like to use the 3D views in Chief, because it's so quick. Like, oh, you want to, or oh, your architect has 3 doors in the middle of the dining room that
Oh
go
my God.
bathroom, laundry room,
Yes.
like pantry. Like, we need a hallway. And I could say that and they'd be like, oh, I don't know, we're already like in framing, like that's extra work, blah blah blah. Or I could show just one 3D little perspective of like, here it is with and without. And guess what? Now we can add a console on that wall and lamps, and you're not like watching somebody open the bathroom door when you're at your dining table. Like,
I
don't
actually
know.
did. Okay,
It's fast.
I might bring it full loop on what you were just saying. And I'm going to tell you an email that I wrote to, it's like, I'll actually just read it. Like, it's probably better that way, honestly. I had a client that I had a good set of discovery calls, really liked them, like we don't get everywhere. However, they came back and they said, hope you're doing well. I want to take a moment to thank you again for meeting with us, taking the time to walk through your approach, ideas. We truly enjoyed the conversation, appreciated your thoughtfulness and your professionalism. We've decided to move in a different direction for this phase of the project. This was not an easy decision. We genuinely value the opportunity to connect with you and learn more about your work. Thank you so much for being generous with your time and your insight. And we want to see your success and follow you online, blah, blah, blah. And like, that doesn't
Well, that's
concern
very
me.
nice.
Like, that was, and I can tell by the way that it was written, and that it was he and his wife both on the chain. Like, this is like we're making sure you see, like, we see you. We don't want you to think anything bad, whatever. That's fine. Love that. I love an email like that instead of just a disappear if things are different. Because for me, I don't really know why. That different direction might be, holy shit, this is a bigger investment than we thought, and we need to loop back on some things, or we need to come back to something. That doesn't bother me. But what did bug me is, before that email, they had just said, well, I told them, okay, next step, if you're really ready to get moving, we're going to move to an in-home consultation. I'd love to see your plan. That way we can talk about it when we're there, because this remodel plan you guys are talking about sounds big. And then they sent me the plan, and I'm not going to lie, the architect had some major issues in the plan. Like, there was definitely a spot that needed a hallway. And the powder room, this is what I hate. It's very much like a developer trick where they do, like, right off the dining room, you step into like this little wannabe hallway situation that might have like a beverage fridge in it, or like a cabinet, and then a door to a powder room. Like, you're like immediate, like, people open the powder room door and it's like, surprise, I took a shit. Like, everybody's right there in the
no
dining
one
room.
wants that surprise. Yeah.
I freaking hate that.
It's like a
stuff.
vestibule kind of.
But like, not even really closed, It's just like only a 30-inch wide cabinet inside the vestibule or something. Like, it's not enough to actually create separation. It's just, turn a corner and
it closes a sight line a little bit, so you're not
exactly.
Like,
And all it
directly
does is, like,
opening
you
it
don't
up.
see a door, you see it step back, and you feel different. Like, but it's not actually accomplishing the goal, which this house definitely has the space to accomplish the goal. It's just, this was the solution that was in this version of the plan. So I wrote a reply after talking to some other designers and just being like, I feel like I really need to say something. And they're like, listen to your gut. Like, so anyway, yesterday I sent.
We'll say it now, because if it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. So yesterday I sent the email and I was like, hey, to them. And I said, like, exclamation point, thank you for such a lovely note. Like, truly, like, I do want them to know that, like, I heard it and saw it. But and then I said, I really vibed with you guys. And as I continue to grow as a business owner, I genuinely would love to get your feedback on what led you to your new direction, if you're open to sharing. And then I said, second line, also, just candidly, the plans that you sent over did have some obvious issues that would be worth having a second set of eyes on before you move forward. I'd really encourage you to seek a designer if you're not already doing so, because I'd hate to see you invest in something that can be improved. If I can help with anything in the future, please let me know. Wishing you a smooth and successful project.
So you hadn't already given him feedback on the plans?
No, because they hadn't hired me yet. But I was just like, there are glaring issues that would not take long to fix. But like, that was my
Now's
intent
the
of
time
just
to,
like, hey guys, like, cool. Like, I honestly, like, I'm trying to stick with that, not saying something bad about the other designer, because that architect might have had a reason. Who knows if the client asked for that? They don't know what they're asking for and they got a solution. Like, there's so many reasons why they could look that way. But for me, it's like, I think you
need to
should
question it first.
Yeah. And I think you need to like really ask yourself, like one of them was like, they had opened up a bedroom to create more living space. However, it was kind of in the middle of the house and it had doorways coming at it from all four sides. So it was essentially just going to become a giant foyer. Like, I told them that on the discovery call. And I was like, this room concerns me that you guys are showing me. Like, I don't usually go into stuff like that very deep on calls, but I just happened to pull it up and I was like, there's definitely some stuff here that needs work, but they were super great. And I think the two things that I feel like, one, listen to your gut. If you know it's not right, just my spirit of wanting to be helpful for people and wanting to be kind about it, I think leads, like put that energy forward.
So you
don't
know why they passed at all. I thought maybe you'd already given them some feedback and they didn't want to hear that.
No.
But okay.
No. And in fact, I had a second follow-up conversation.
Maybe they just weren't
wife.
trying to avoid a designer.
Yeah. And so that's why I think it was twofold. It was like, one, I would love to know why you want that. But two, like, tell me your feedback on the other direction if you must, because I'd love to know just so I can grow. But two, please, like, out of, it'd be like a doctor's like, hey, you didn't go with us to get that scan, but I would just tell you, like, you should really go see
like there's
someone and get
black shadow on your
like you should really
lungs.
Go like yeah, I know you didn't ask us to do an MRI and so we're not, but like I really think you should go get one. Like it's
so you
kind
didn't
of like
give a proposal, like you had not got it wasn't
you
pricing
didn't approve,
at this point.
like you didn't tell us to go through your health insurance, so I can't do that for you right now, but if you should totally go do that. It's kind of the energy. Like you should totally
like I can't give you
that.
a medical opinion because I haven't done my full due diligence. But you hadn't gone to proposal, like they didn't have pricing, like it wasn't based on pricing at this point.
No. So yeah, I think that's like, anyway, that was just my full loop of kind of tying into what your story was sharing, was like, just tell people the thing they need to hear, go with the instincts, show them the truth, do it with kindness. Like it doesn't have to be putting down the other designer or that architect in this case. Like I don't need to say anything about that. It's just like there's some stuff that could be improved before you invest your money. Like
yeah, and maybe they just had a different connection with a different designer or a referral that they just wanted to stay with or whatever.
Or they just and like there's so many things that I don't know, because it could also be like, oh my God, we started getting initial cost per square foot ideas from a contractor on this and it's getting crazy. Like I really don't know.
Even doing the full scope. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't even want to read into that. It's just like I'd love to get feedback if you're open to it, but also you should definitely seek a second opinion. You guys are great.
Like
Thanks so much.
For those, since they were pretty forthcoming already.
They were really I mean they were very lovely. And I just feel like our job is not to like, I don't want to spend my whole life spinning out on the reason why when I don't know the reason why. Like it's just it could be anything, but I want them to leave with knowing that like I'm helpful. And I feel like we've all talked about that, where we say something to people who we really do like, where we're like, if I can be helpful with anything in the future, let me know.
Yeah,
and
because you could still get a referral from that. Like they could refer you to somebody based on a different need. So yeah.
And I've had those where people say, actually, I was talking with a friend who follows you and just really responds to the way you explain things and talk about stuff. And then I followed you. So it doesn't even have to be, it's like getting used to that karmic balance coming back to you, I think, is knowing that like putting kindness, putting constructive thoughts forward, like always just trying to be helpful without over people pleasing. It is possible. You could get there.
And over like beating yourself up for something that's maybe not your business. Like
yeah, like I have no But I don't know. They could have just said, oh my God, we just found out we got to pay, a $20,000 medical expense or something. Like, I really don't, that part doesn't hurt my feelings at all when people decide to go another direction. It's like, it's not them saying, well, I didn't want to marry you. I found someone better to marry. It's like, well, isn't that the point? Like, find the person you're really going to be committed to, not the other way around. Like, oh, it means you hated all the other people you dated. Like, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying we loved something more. Like,
It's just different.
yeah. Anyway, so
Well, good.
I'll catch it next time you and I talk. It'll be after my trip. No, we're actually okay. We have one more before I leave on my trip, and then
we do.
Yeah, next week.
Okay.
That was a lot. We weren't even gone that long. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the reheated episodes with Ali Faulkner and Kate Lester. They're two of our favorites and very big, longtime supporters of the show, and we love supporting them.
And I feel like we need to get both of them on because they have also both evolved so much since we learned so much from them then, and now they've both leveled up so much.
There are a lot of amazing lessons in it when you go back, because I stand firmly behind this, hotties. The information you were ready for when you heard an episode when it first came out is very different than the information you're ready for when you go back and listen again. Like, there's way too much to digest. And so I'm definitely a fan of going back on episodes and going, oh, I totally missed that nugget of information because the bullet point they shared before that was, or I didn't have employees yet. So that sounded, so irrelevant at the time, right?
Right.
So,
wait, real quick. I'm not going to get into it, but just a quick
preview?
thing. I don't know if I've said, but after all of the Frick Stoll conversation and me having a hine about going to design field retreat, did I say yet? I did decide to go. So I think we're going to talk one more time before I leave, but that will be a big recapping day too.
Yes, because you're going to...
And there'll be some hotties there.
You're going to South Carolina.
Charleston. That's South Carolina.
Yeah, you're right. No. Come on, Carmen Sandiego.
For some reason, I never think of the Carolinas being on the ocean.
Really? I think I have that. I think I have that problem before. I had gone to Savannah and Hilton Head, and I felt like Georgia was mainly I felt like Georgia was well, Atlanta's all on the inside, and I would visit my ex-in-laws and then other family, and we would road trip to Nashville. So I would never get to see the coast until I went to it.
And we go to High Point, and there's not an ocean to be glimpsed. So
yeah,
that's
I really like Charleston.
West
I love Savannah. Naivete. I wish you could be there longer for that, but I also feel like this is a good way to start that trip. So we'll hear more about that. And I think it's sold out officially, if anyone's listening to this. But
if you are going and you do hear this, let me know, because I already know some of you that are. But I want to talk to you. But I'm going to talk to everybody about it.
And it's 2 days after I get back from my trip, so I won't be there. Yeah. Anyway, well... Fantastic, hotties. I hope you're enjoying the start of a really heavy allergy season like we are. And until next time,
stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.